Hello everyone, my name is Sloan and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm moving to Texas very soon, and before I move, I wanted to do one last big plant shopping tour. So we are going to be going to every single plant shop in the Des Moines area in this YouTube video, and starting us off, we're at Canoyer's Garden Center, and this is just such a full circle moment for me because this is where I filmed my very first plant shopping video ever, my first video on my YouTube channel. So we're here for one last hurrah. This might be the last time I come here, but I have a lot of family in Des Moines, so I'm going to be in Des Moines a lot, but obviously, you know, it won't be my regular stomping grounds, so I don't know if I'll make it here again or not. I guess this might be saying goodbye, but I'm excited to see what plants they have today, and let's just go inside. All right, guys, let's kick it off over here in the peperomia section, and I'm actually remembering how much I was obsessed with this particular peperomia when I first started getting into houseplants, the peperomia marble for 20, and I've never owned one, so I'm just really actually very inspired by this table, and I think this is probably more of like a regular peperomia. We'll see. Yeah, just a regular, I can't remember the name of this, but just a regular round peperomia, but these are quite pretty. And at the moment, I don't even own any peperomia, which is kind of crazy. This one, I can't remember the name of. Let's look over here. It just says peperomia, so I'll have to look that one up. And then over here looks like a pretty big ficus section, so we'll start out with this tineke that has 2 stems in the pot, and it looks like it's $50, and this is kind of the bigger section. My ficus shivereana passed away, and I would very much like another one, so I'm curious what these are going for right now. Looks like it's only $20. I bought a little one, and I'm feeling like next time I want to get a bigger one, and maybe that will help it grow up big and strong. It looks like they also have like even smaller little babies, and it's still 20, but maybe they have bigger ones, or maybe one of the other plant shops will have bigger ones for me to look at. This one's looking a little silly. This is a ficus quercifolia. Interesting. And then this is a fiddle fig bambino. If you haven't seen my video on the difference between those, I have a whole video on it. It's pretty short, and it's 25. But yeah, you can kind of see even just right now how close these leaves are together versus up there how far apart they are. That's one of the big differences. This is a pretty big maranta and calathea section. So this looks like a pretty standard maranta. Let's see. Oh, it's huge. How much are you? It's only $20. Just a regular green maranta, absolutely huge, would look good anywhere. And then there's some red maranta in smaller pots. I used to have one of these, and it is also no longer living. This is $12, and I'm thinking maybe when I get to Texas, I'll have to increase my maranta collection because my maranta silver band is gorgeous, and it's making me want more. I'm guessing this is also 12, and it's a lemon lime maranta. Yep, this one's so pretty. I also used to have one of those, and it is no longer with us. And over here are just some calathea. I can't remember the name of this one. Calathea roseo green for 25. Not sure the name of this one either. I always think I'm gonna learn calathea, but I never do. Oh, this is a roseopicta, which makes total sense. Look at those rosy leaves. Over here is a calathea musaica, and I know that, so go me, and it's $15. All right, look at all these maranta silver bands. Oh my goodness, they're everywhere. Maranta silver bands are such a great plant. Mine is always flowering just like this, and they have these cutie little purpley flowers, and it just looks lush just like these do, and it's only $25. And they're so silver and beautiful. Like, if you don't have one, and honestly, it's been easier for me to care for than my other marantas, but I also might just be taking better care of it because I like it so much. I think this is a Calathea Freddy, and it's 25. Oh, it's a burle Marx. That makes sense. And I like that they have their plants sitting in water because for Calathea, like, usually they would dry out, and we're in a greenhouse. It gets hot in here, so I'm pretty impressed by how great these plants look, actually, all things considered, with how hot it has been in Iowa lately. So this is a schismatoglottis, and I've been so curious about these. Schismatoglottis wallio for $25, it looks like. And yeah, I just think they're like a really fun leaf shape. I think they could be potentially really fun to grow. And then over here it looks like we have some climbers. Monstera dubia, which is what this is, these used to be quite expensive, so I'm curious the price, and it's only $40. Now is the time to buy houseplants. Oh my gosh. And then it looks like a bunch of different types of rhaphidophoras. So this is a rhaphidophora hayi for $25, and they're so cool. They grow up these planks, and look at how flat these get, especially this one, that Monstera dubia back there. So interesting. And then these are caladium lindenii, another favorite of mine. These are $30. So they're also called xanthosomas. I don't know which one is proper, but they grow beautifully. This looks like a silly little fern. Let's see what it is. Emina fern for $10. And it is, in fact, a silly little fern. My eye is so drawn to these peperomia albos for $40. Like, this is my dream. Oh no, this is my dream. Look at this, actually looks so much like a marble queen pothos. That's kind of funny. But I've been growing mine up a moss pole because I've been wanting them to fenestrate, but I'm wondering if they would fenestrate regardless, because look at how beautiful these are. Oh my gosh. These are so pretty and so not expensive now. I can't believe it. Over here look like a bunch more fun philodendron. This is a philodendron golden violin for $25, and it looks like it's next to a philodendron silver sword for $25. And this looks like a little velvety philodendron. I'm on my toes right now to be able to get up here for you guys. And these look a little thirsty. And this is a varicosum for $40. They could use a drink for sure. Here's a painted lady for $25. That leaf in particular is looking very pretty. And this is a monstera. I'm blanking on the name. Let's take a look. The tag says philodendron green galaxy, which is definitely not true. It's a monstera, and I'll put on the screen what it is when it comes to me. Down here, this looks like a philodendron white princess, but let's see. Oh, it's a white wizard for $50. I'm not super up to date on what the difference for those are, but very pretty. It looks a lot like my white princess, followed by a ring of fire. These have been going down in price quite a bit. I actually just saw them at my grocery store for $30, and they're $30 here as well. And these have grown on me quite a bit. I could see myself getting one. I don't know what this is. Philodendron snowdrift for $50. Very pretty leaves, quite a few of them as well. This looks like a Monstera Thai constellation. Or no, it's a philodendron white princess. Wow. I don't know, that looked very constellation-y to me. And it's $70. So let's see if we can figure out the difference between this and the white wizard. This is an easy difference. Do you see the pink stems? I think that's what makes it a princess. And then this one, no pink stems. I have heard that can make the difference in these plants, so now we know. How fun. And then over here, my favorite plant in the whole entire world, the philodendron gloriosum. I will put in a picture of what mine looks like because it looks actually very different than these, and these are $30. The reason why mine looks different is, like, I think just because it's bigger. I'm not sure what this is here. Let's find out. It's got a big stem. It's a philodendron Creso Verde for $40. Looks like there's just a few philodendron brantianums in here. This is kind of a difficult philodendron in my opinion, but it's only $12 if you want to give it a chance. And there are a bunch of philodendron micans. And they're only $12. A ton of philodendron bilietiaes. This one actually has quite a long leaf. And something about these remind me of a frog. I don't know what it is, but they do, and they're only $30. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out what plants I'm taking to Texas and how that's gonna work. And this is $30, and it looks way cooler than my bilietiaes, so I don't know. Part of me is like, do I give that one away and then just get a new one when I get to Texas? But I don't know what the plant shops will be like there. So who knows? Of course, I will be taking you guys along with me to show you what the plant shops look like there. So definitely subscribe if you are curious to see what they look like. Up here, I see some rhaphidophora decursivas. I love how shiny these are. They're just naturally such a shiny plant. Let's see, it's only $20, and the common name for this is the dragon tail. Ooh, this is one of my favorite philodendrons. I think they're so pretty. Mine's not looking super great right now. Oh my gosh, and they're only $15 now. But yeah, I really want mine to fill out like this, so I really need to get it in some sun and get working on it. It looks good, but it doesn't look like this full and luscious. So pretty, and it's a silver stripe. I can't remember if I said that. I also just want to give a shout out for their pot section. This is quite the selection. I especially really love all of these, and let's see if they have a drainage hole. They do. Oh man, that would be very tempting if I wasn't moving. I'm trying to resist the urge. I do need an orchid pot though, so we can take a look at these. This is also a fun one, but you'd have to use it as a cash pot. And the orchid that I need to repot doesn't need a very big pot. Probably bigger than this though, maybe like this size. But I don't know if I love these. We'll keep looking. We've got a lot of other plant shops to go to. I also really like this massive mister. If you need a huge plant mister, that's pretty sweet. Okay, so over here, it looks like a lot of pineapple plants and dracaenas. Let's see the name of this Dracaena. Dracaena warniekii for $20. And I've seen a lot of pineapple plants, which are technically bromeliads. I've seen a lot of them for sale before, but I've never seen them this big. I feel like usually they're so tiny. This is huge. Let's check out the price on this. And you can eat these. If you ever see these for sale in a store, you can absolutely eat them. And they're $30. So this one's definitely ripe, maybe a bit overripe actually, but if you wanted to pay $30 for a pineapple to eat, and then it will continue to grow new pineapples, you can do that. Over here is my favorite peace lily in the world, the domino peace lily. This is also, in my opinion, such an underrated plant. Let's see how much it costs. $20, and this will grow like a weed. Their flowers are not, the most pretty. Is anything flowering in here? I don't see any, but they smell so good that it's worth it. And they just get this beautiful variegation. Such a pretty plant. They also have a decently large succulent and cacti collection as well. I'm curious what this is, because it kind of reminds me of a Hoya, but I don't think it is. Oh, it's a vanilla orchid. That's so interesting. I think it said $30. Yeah, that's not what I thought that was at all. I've never seen a string of coins growing in a hanging basket like that. That is so fun. I'm gonna have to remember that. And yeah, it's only $25. This thing is really fuzzy. What are you? Some kind of succulent for $10. It reminds me of a bear paw, but I don't think it is. I'm curious what these are. They're variegated and they're definitely pokey. Oh my gosh, it's a variegated crown of thorns. I didn't even know those existed. And it's $25. Probably, it's a small plant, but like the fact that they're variegated is pretty cool. And then a bunch of string of coins. I have one of these and it has not been bringing me joy. But looking at these now, sometimes you just need the inspiration on like what your plant could look like, because how cool is that? I don't see a price on that one. I'm not sure any of these have prices, but they look really cool. Over here are a bunch of Hoya, and I'm immediately drawn to the variegated Hoya compactas. These don't look particularly happy. Some look happier than others, but let's see, they're $20. Not sure what kind of Hoya this is. It's not listed, but I've been getting really into Hoya lately, so I'd be curious to know. Over here is the 2024 plant of the year, the Dracaena Janet Craig, for $12. This plant has really grown on me. I bought it for the video that I did on the 2024 plant of the year. If you haven't checked that out, here's your spoiler of what it is, but I bought it for the video, and also like it's nice to have just plain green plants, but it has grown on me a lot, especially because I put it in this super cute pot. It's just a really great plant, very easy. These are absolutely massive. I can't remember what this plant is called. Let's take a look. It's a pencil cactus and they're $80. These are so fascinating and just quite large. They have a pretty good Sansevieria section, or I think these have been reclassified as Dracaena or something. I don't know. Snake plants. This is a Sansevieria moonshine for $25, and next to it, this is either a jaboa or a whale fin. It's a shark fin, apparently. Not sure if that's just the same as a whale fin. And then over here is a Sansevieria Star Power for $20. I don't think I've ever heard the name of that one. These up here are quite pretty. Let's take a closer look and see what they're called and how much they are. Okay, no label on that one. Let's see if we have a better look over here. Looks like it's a Sansevieria Scieri for $50. Over here are a bunch of ZZ plants, including like regular and the ZZ Raven. The Raven is $35 and the regular is $25. And then over here are some Scindapsus. This is, I can't remember the name of this, but it's $12. And then this is the Argyrius, which I have one of these. Oh, this one must be the Exotica. This is the Argyrius. So if you ever wondered the difference, it's much more apparent when they're side by side. You know, much bigger leaves on this one, smaller leaves. Like the Exotica has more of the silver color than the Argyrius. And let's see, the price on this one is $20. Up top, we have this Emidrium. It is the Emidrium Silver Spider-Man, apparently, for $25. I'm noticing these have very different prices. It's $20. This one is $20, but this one is $35. Oh, because it's an Emidrium Zippolanum, so it's different. And it looks a little different, I will say. So the Zippolanum is $30, and this Spider-Man apparently is $20. And I love me a pink Syngonium. Let's see what this one is. Just says Syngonium for $12. And over here is the Syngonium Wendlandii, and it is really inspiring me because mine does not look great. So these are just reminding me like what mine could look like, and these are $15. Of course, there's also a whole pothos section. I'm guessing this is the Baltic Blue, which has actually been on my wish list for a long time. I love just how green and luscious they look. Sure enough, it is, and it's $25. I have literally never seen one of these for sale in a pot smaller than this, like 6-inch pot. They're always in big pots, and that's why I haven't bought one, but maybe I'll find one when I get to Texas and buy one there. And then these look like global greens. No, lemon meringue for $35. So many varieties now. One of my absolute favorite philodendrons, the Philodendron Brazil, for $12. So pretty. Over here is this could be 2 different kinds. They're hard to tell the difference. Pearls and Jade for $25, and it's the Enjoy looks so similar. There's also a pretty big alocasia section. This looks like an alocasia ninja, I'm guessing. Oh, it's a black velvet for just $15. I can't remember the difference between this and a ninja. Very interesting. And then this is an alocasia cuprea. They have a fun color on the back, and it is just $20. Down in here, what are you? Very pretty. An alocasia mellow for $20. Not sure what that means, but they're very striking. Ooh, look at this one. Something about that one in particular. Very striking. All right, guys, that was pretty much all of the plants at Canoyer's. I'll catch you guys at the next plant shop. So the next plant shop that I decided to stop at was Tedler Garden Center, which is one of my favorite plant shops. I love coming here for both house plants as well as outdoor plants, as well as just to have a good time. It really feels like an oasis. It is such a beautiful, beautiful space, which makes sense because they're also a landscaping company. So they would want to show that off as well. But before we get into the plants, they had this crazy plant growing up a moss pole, and I just had to take pictures with it. I'm pretty sure it's a marble queen, which is crazy. Look at how thick the stems are on that thing. Also, I'm voicing this over because I just ran here after work and it was like 45 minutes before they close. So I was in a bit of a rush and something happened with my microphone and it just didn't work, but that's okay. You just get voiceover Sloan for our Ted Lare visit. All right, let's jump right into the plants. So I stopped at this section first, which is kind of their first philodendron section. And I was looking at this philodendron tortum that was only $30. These have come down in price so much. And I just love how the new leaves come in. I think probably I'll pick one up at some point. They kind of give like a fern vibe without being as difficult as a fern to me. Then there was a philodendron jungle boogie for $35, as well as a philodendron Paraiso verde for $35. And there were all of these philodendrons, and I didn't catch the name of these or how much they were. I think I said it out loud, but as I mentioned, my microphone was having some troubles. So I guess we'll never know. If you know what that plant is, leave it in the comments below. And then there was a philodendron billietiae over here, actually quite a few of them. And some of the leaves were rather large. That's one plant I'm excited to get growing and hopefully get growing a bit bigger. That I have one at home. When I'm in Texas. Then there were some green heartleaf philodendron looking pretty lush, as well as my favorite plant, the philodendron gloriosum. These were looking so good. I got my philodendron gloriosum from Ted Lare Garden Center, and they were about that big when I got them, and now so much bigger. This was a Streptocarpa Concord Blue, which is a plant that I'd never heard of. It seemed like an outdoor plant, but it was in the indoor plant section, and I feel like I've heard Streptocarpella, actually. What am I saying? But I feel like I've heard that name as a plant that people have indoors, so I don't know. Then there were Anthurium forgetii for only $20. I also really want to have a big Anthurium collection at some point. I don't love the forgetii, how it has like the rounded tops, so I probably won't get that one, but I just want to have more. Then there was a bunch of Monstera deliciosas for $18. I was surprised at how many aerial roots they had, even though they were small, as well as an Epipremnum pinnatum albo, a really tall one, and this Mangilopathos for $25, which seemed a little pricey to me, but I never really see those for sale, so maybe it's fair. And then a Hawaiian Pothos for $10, which to me, I really think is more of a golden pothos. I don't think I buy that there's a difference, but I will say the variegation was a little bit more white and a little less golden, I would say. So I don't know. Then there was a goldfish plant, Shady Lady, for $17, which I guess is a different kind of goldfish plant than, what we normally see, as well as a Scindapsus argyrius for $17 that was trailing quite a bit. And next to it was a Scindapsus exotica for $15. You can really see how much bigger the leaves are with them being right next to each other like that. Then there was the Hoya section. Ted Lare always has a really big Hoya section. This is a Hoya parasitica splash for $30. I'm really into Hoya right now. As I'm watching this, I'm just thinking more about all the plants I want to buy once I can. Here's a Hoya glabra for $40. My Hoya have been blooming this year, and so I'm just loving them. This is a Hoya pandorata for $33. That's an interesting Hoya. I don't understand Hoya prices because I don't know enough about them. This is a Hoya Eskimo for $20, but it's funny to watch this and know nothing and just see how expensive they are sometimes for how little they are. This is a Hoya Polyneura for $40, which was looking really pretty, trailing so much. And I felt like that was a really good deal for a Hoya Polyneura because this Hoya Polyneura was $30 and is itty bitty. Like I really feel like these should be priced differently. Although the one I'm holding is maybe variegated, but I don't think so. Anyway, the big one was a much better deal. Then there was a silver band maranta for $13. This is my favorite prayer plant right now. They're just the best. Definitely my favorite maranta. Then some philodendron cream splashes for $30. So many of those. I love how available those have become. And this was their new rare houseplant section. So Over here, I think this was another Epipremnum pinnatum elbow, but I can't quite make out the label, but I'm assuming that's what this was. I don't know. It's kind of got ribbing to it that I'm not sure the Epipremnum elbow has. So let me know if you I'm convinced. I think it's something else, but I don't know what it is. This one is one that we're going to see from the other side, and you'll get a better idea on what it cost and what it is and things like that. So just stay tuned. Then there was a bonsai ficus Green Island for $40. I don't know anything about this ficus, but I liked this bonsai. It was already kind of growing in the bonsai shape, and I felt like $40 for that was not a bad price. Bonsai can be very expensive, and you'd have to do some pruning to kind of get it growing right, but I thought it looked really good. And then there's me touching a Hoya globulosa for $45. I absolutely hated how this plant felt. It was fuzzy in such a bad way. It just gave me like the creepy crawlies. I was super not a fan, but I loved the leaves. I felt like they looked very prehistoric, and I had just been watching Jurassic Park, so I was obsessed with the way the leaves looked. This is a philodendron holtonianum for $25. It reminded me a lot of my philodendron oxypopense that I have at home, which is kind of a weird philodendron, and this one is also kind of a weird philodendron, so I thought that was fun. And that's the same plant, but the leaf obviously looks very different. It's a more mature leaf, which is exactly how my oxypopense has been growing and maturing. So I just thought that was fun to look at and see another kind of weird philodendron. This was an Anthurium veitchii for $100, and what I love about this veitchii is how long the leaf is. I have a veitchii. It was a wish list plant for me for a long time, and my leaves are much smaller, and I don't know if it is a variety of veitchii thing, or if it's I just need to get mine to mature. So I hope I just need to get mine to mature. I don't really know for sure. I'm not sure what this philodendron was either. Again, because I'm voicing this over, I couldn't quite get every plant. But over here was a queen anthurium for $150, which I also felt like was a pretty decent price. These plants used to be so expensive, and $150 is still a lot of money for a houseplant, but I think they used to be like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Like maybe like a one leaf cutting would have been $150. So I'm pretty happy with that. Plus I never really see them. And then here's an Anthurium clarinervium for $35. These have such a pretty heart-shaped leaf. I just think they're adorable. And then next to it was a philodendron melanochrysum, which is a very beautiful plant. I find them to be extremely annoying and difficult to grow. I much prefer the hybrids like the philodendron splendid, which is a cross between the melanochrysum and the verrucosum, and I just feel like it grows so much better. And they look very similar. And then next to it was a philodendron jopii for $30. I don't love how this plant looks. I get the appeal. It's kind of like a funky leaf, but it's not my favorite. And over here is a variegated philodendron burle marx. I think this is an underrated plant. I really do. I think they grow really luscious. You don't have to put them on a moss pole or do anything crazy like that. The yellow variegation is really fun, and they're just an easy plant. I definitely recommend getting one of those if you don't have one. And this was such a cool plant. It's a variegated rhaphidophora tetrasperma. I don't know if I've ever seen one of these in real life. Definitely, if I have, it's been a while. And the variegation was a little spotty, but you saw the stem was pretty well variegated. And this leaf is pretty well variegated, so I don't know if it's one of those plants that just kind of every other leaf comes out variegated or something like that. That one's obviously very pretty. I wish I caught the price on it, but I didn't. And then next to it was an Epipremnum amplyssimum variegated for $40. I thought this was kind of a fun plant, a little funky and stringy looking, but it was fun. And there's also a philodendron strawberry shake for $100. I remember when these plants were just so expensive. I've never got the appeal of those, but anyway, $100 is still expensive for a plant, but yeah. Then next to it was a Monstera deliciosa aurea for $140. These all, I'm getting so annoying with I remember when these used to be so expensive, but I'm not going to say it again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, only $140 for these. I swear they used to be like $1,000. I don't know. Then there was an Aglaonema pictum tricolor. These looked amazing. Like, look at that variegation. I have an Aglaonema pictum tricolor, and it doesn't quite look like this. If I were not moving, I you know, I already have one, but I really thought about getting another one. I just think aglaonema are so easy. These are such a cool plant. Like, they look like camouflage. Just so cool. I don't know. I could use another one. And then this is the back of that plant that I showed you earlier that I was like, we're going to come back to this. And I'm pretty sure it's a strawberry shake. I don't know that I caught the price or what it is. I guess I didn't, but I'm pretty sure it was a huge strawberry shake. And then over here is a Scindapsus tribuii dark form for $25, which you don't see very often. If you're a Scindapsus person, you would see that and be like, oh, this is a really cool plant. And this one I also didn't catch the name of, but it is flowering, which is always a really fun thing to see. My philodendron rarely flower, and I just think it's fun when they do. Their flowers look so silly and like kind of prehistoric to me too. Then there was a Scindapsus jade satin variegated for $45, which I'm not big into Scindapsus, but I did think that this was really pretty. The leaves looked pretty different. A lot of the ones towards the base had the best variegation in my opinion, but I thought it looked kind of cool. Then there were the sensitive plants for $18, and you're going to see something really funny when I pick one of these plants up. Oh my gosh, look at how cool that is. Look at how cool. Oh, it's so cool. Okay, but later I pick one of the plants up to see the price. Look at how full it is. Now watch that. Keep that in your mind. Look at it all drooping. They all closed and it looks so sad. Like, this would be such a wild plant to have if you had kids that love to touch plants, because I think it would just look sad all the time. And then I did it again. I don't know what. I just wanted to see the price again, I guess. Like, I feel kind of bad. They look so bad now. But they'll pop back. Don't worry. They will pop back and they'll look normal. I didn't catch the name of this syngonium, but they reminded me of that epipremnum that looks like wilted spinach in a way. I think that's like the epipremnum Shangri-La or something. Super weird syngonium. But then on the wall, there was a variegated philodendron melanochrysum. This was not for sale, but it was beautiful. Plus an anthurium beechii. They just have a really cool wall of plants. That epipremnum was beautiful. I can't remember the name of that epipremnum, but it was gorgeous. And then this fan was really loud. So lucky for you, you don't have to hear it because I'm voicing this over after. But there were a lot of carnivorous plants in this little cabinet, including some pings in the new house. I really want to get some pings. They're sticky, and so they catch fungus gnats. And that's the way that they eat bugs. And so they're a really great plant to keep around if you have fungus gnats, or if you have like a cabinet where, like, an enclosed space where you want to be able to catch fungus gnats. There were also a lot of beautiful orchids. That one in particular was gorgeous. I would love to get one that flowers like this. This one was a Venus orchid slipper orchid, which one of my friends purchased back in like 2021. I think it died, but I remember her buying it. We were plant shopping together, and I loved it even all the way back then. And then there were some really lush string of turtles for $25, and these ones were a little less lush. I would definitely go for the square pots. I'm sure they just came from a different grower or something like that. And then over here there were a bunch of string ofs. So this was a string of hearts for $6. They were pretty plump, as well as some string of spades, and then some variegated string of hearts, which I used to have one. It died. I think I would like to get another one, especially with how much I'm loving my silver glory string of hearts lately. There was a variegated string of pearls for $6. And then I love Ted Lare's pots. I just think they have some of the best pots. This was $11, and it has a cutie little face on it. And then there were a ton of succulents. This one was really interesting. It was a pink trumpet succulent, and I thought it looked very similar to a golem's ear jade, which you're going to see in a bit, and I'll point it out, and you can kind of look at the difference between the two. But I liked it that it was kind of like the golem's ear jade, but pink. And this purse was so cute. I'm obsessed with it. I think it would be extremely annoying to have to water, but it was only $40. So you get all of the succulents plus the cute setup. But yeah, I think it would just be extremely annoying to water. Like, you would have to like spray it down and then it would drip water everywhere. I don't know. But this was the golem's jade that I mentioned earlier for $10. And so it's a lot like that pink trumpet, but not pink. And I have one of these that has grown quite large. And so, I don't know, I just really like looking at the pink one too. I really liked this yellow pot. I can't be buying pots right now, but I think yellow pots really make green leaves pop. And this Super Thrive I looked at because I've never seen it as a spray. I've only seen Super Thrive as a vitamin that you water into the plants. And so I just looked at this for a while because I was kind of confused about it. I didn't know they came out with this, but I thought it was cool. Maybe an easier way to keep up with fertilizing. Then there were a bunch of lithops for $15, as well as this crazy cactus, a Euclinia castanea spiralis for $80. Maybe you click on these videos to hear me pronounce plant names poorly. I don't know, but you know I'm always going to try. And then there was this huge cactus that was just bonkers, so thick. I don't know what it was, but it had also this massive flower in the back. I've never seen anything like that. And then there was a Euphorbia trigona variegated for $40, which was a really pretty euphorbia. And here's me just showing more of the plant sections. I think, oh, that was inside and now we're outside. I forgot about that. So this was their sale section. And this goldfish plant was only $7.50 because all of these plants were 50% off, which was super cool. There were a lot of plants over here that were tempting, like this Phalaenopsis orchid for $22.50. And that is the half off price. So like normally it was, you can see it like $45. But yeah, I just thought that these were really good deals, and they had a bunch of other non-planty stuff that I didn't film that was half off as well. Over here was a Queen of the Night cactus. They flower, that crazy flower, I want to say maybe at night, and that's why they got the name. I don't know. There were a bunch of Labesia pumilia electric pinks for $10, as well as another kind of Labesia next to it. I've heard that Labesias are kind of a finicky plant. This one was a Labesia jabby sunrise for $13.50. I think, and I almost dropped it. Oh my gosh. I think that they are a bit humidity sensitive, if I'm remembering correctly, but they're beautiful. And over here was a fern for $6.50 with a crazy bottom. Look at that crazy looking fern. I don't like weird textures on plants. I don't like looking at that. And I don't know what kind of fern this is. Let me know if you know what kind of fern it is. I don't think it's a rabbit foot fern because I think I would be seeing rabbit's feet like things at the bottom, but it kind of gives me a similar vibe. And then just to the left of it was the very last plant. There were a couple different angel wing begonia types for only $6.50. So that's all from Ted Lare. I'll see you guys at the next plant shop. We're about to head into Petals and Moss. I haven't been here in quite some time, at least a year, maybe actually a couple of years. And I'm excited to see what it looks like. I think they're actually under new ownership now as well. So maybe it'll be a little bit different. If you're interested in seeing the last 2 times that I was here, I filmed both of them. I think the last time I was here was when I did this like plant shop hop thing, and I filmed the whole thing and it was so much fun. They don't do it anymore, but I had such a blast doing it. And then the time before that I came for one of my birthdays and I just had like a little plant shopping day to myself. So I will link those down below in the description box if you are curious about them, since this is a plant shop I'm not at a ton. I think this will be the last plant shop we visit in this video, and then I'll put the other 3 in a part 2 video, and we'll just keep it to 2 parts of 2 longer plant shopping videos. So anyway, I will be done yapping. Let's go head inside. So one of Petals and Moss's big things is this all-you-can-leave box sale, where you can pack up a box of plants, and they have this big wall of plants that you can pack up. Let's take a look at a few of them. Oh, I actually don't know if they're labeled. I'm not sure what that one is, since they are a part of the box sale. This is our 2024 plant of the year, the Dracaena Janet Craig. But yeah, it looks like these aren't labeled. It's a really cool concept to have them organized like this. And one big thing that I actually totally forgot was the case is that they also sell like cutie little things here, like vintage finds. This is a little like $20 frame. I'm curious how much this one is because it says that it's solid brass. It's 16. That one's really cool. I also really like these little trays quite a bit. Vintage mirror tray, $50 for like the big detailed one. Here's a monstera standuliana albo for $38. And there's actually quite a few plants in there. Ooh, this is really cool. I've never seen anything like that. Oh, that's the air plant for $20. I was trying to look at like the little gold tray, which is $46. It's a glass vanity tray. And I guess there's also an air plant. I'm not very into air plants. These are cutie little glass holders. This huge gold frame is really cool. Yeah, I'm getting really distracted by non-plant things. Not sure if that frame is for sale, but it's really cool. And I also don't know what this is. It might be, oh, it's a Syngonium albo for $38, but it is pretty mature, which is really cool. Like mature Syngonium get these branching things happening, which is really cool. Some super cool Art Deco bookends. They're like concrete. These are really awesome, actually. As well as a croton hanging out in front of it. No price on that one. And then here is a red maranta with a cute little brass, like rose gold, coppery umbrella charm on it for $28. Some more cool bookends. Plus an interesting frame back there. And here's a philodendron birkin. It says $22. I like the pot that it's in. It looks like it might be handmade. It's $32. Rattlesnake calathea for $34. And then this pot back here, it's kind of milk glassy. It's $18. It's a cool pot. And it has a ficus tineke or ficus ruby hanging out in it for $30. I like this framed mirror up there. Oop. If I don't knock it over, it's $80. Ooh, I love this anthurium. It's a Radicans luxurians for $68. Very pretty. Quite a lot going on in this little section. This is a philodendron jopii for $64. And then over here's a ring of fire philodendron for $38, looking really healthy. Ooh, and an anthurium fingers for $40. I love anthurium fingers, such a great plant. It looks like a bunch of pothos over here. Let's see, there's some marble queens. They're really full. I think, here's a ZZ plant. This one's $38. I almost couldn't see the ZZ plant through all of the leaves. Looks like the marble queens are $42 and they are luscious. Over here are some little baby ZZs. These are $20, including, there's a raven ZZ right here. That one's $30. I believe this is an alocasia cuprea for $32. And then I think this is a rhaphidophora hayi, if I had to guess. It's a shingle plant, not fully labeled, but it's $36. I don't know what kind of cactus these are. What's a brain cactus for $72? These are so interesting. I don't think I've ever seen those before. Over here on these little trays are some little baby succulents. I think these are part of their all-you-can-leaf box sale, which is why they're not labeled and they don't have prices on them, I'm pretty sure. This looks like a coffee plant. I think this whole table, yeah, the whole table is all-you-can-leaf stuff. So we'll just take a peek through. This is so cute. What is this? Not for sale, but it's adorable. Oh, and that's cute. They have like a little pet safe sticker if they are pet safe. It would be nice if they were labeled though. I think that would, help new plant parents be able to like research their plants. Here's a green maranta. Peace lily. Oh, this is cool. You can buy individuals as well. So these are the prices for all of the plants that are in the all-you-can-leaf box sale if you don't do the box sale, I think. Oh, these are interesting. Little pots. On this wall are some concrete little pots. This one's $14. a bunch of little trellis-like things. All different prices, it looks like. This is such an interesting way to hang this plant. It's like in this little drawer, but I was so confused how it was being hung. And it is pot in there. And this is either pearls and jade or angelic pothos. My guess is pearls and jade. And then they have like just various other vintagey things way up high up there. The pot feet right here are really fun. And it looks like they have the prices here, and then there's quite a few different ones that you can buy. That's fun. Oh, I like these magnets. How cute. I really like this photo or like plate holder back there. That's neat. Some art down here. And some like cool picture framey things. I don't know. But here's this piece of art. I quite like the frame. It's 46. Oh, how interesting is that? I don't know how much it is. This is 4 each, but I don't know what that means. And I really like this print here as well. It says 36. Another cool piece of art back there. All right, that's pretty much everything, guys. I'll check in with you back in the car. Petals and Moss is so cute. I actually forgot that they moved locations and I hadn't been to this new location. It's so fun to dig through all of the trinkets. It's like the best plant shop trinket combo. I actually thought about getting the Art Deco bookends for my husband for his birthday, but they were $58 each, and I thought they were $58 for the pair, so I walked away from those and didn't get anything, but it was very tempting. Thanks for shopping with me at 3 different plant shops. I'm finding this to be such a great way to process the fact that I'm moving across the country. I think that it's really easy to think that you have all the time in the world to go to all the plant shops, to go do all the things, but you never know what could happen, and I wasn't planning on moving across the country, but I am, and so it's really nice to go to every plant shop once just to say goodbye, and I'm excited to head to the other 3, so make sure to subscribe if you're interested in seeing part 2 of this video where we go to 3 more different plant shops, and I'll hope to see you in that video. Bye!